Come on, nah, nah. Ever since you foxy cha-cha, I might as well be dumb and cheesy. Making my mind up's easy. I fought to seek a job of teaching, seeking the sun to take me a beach day. I fight to beat the temptation and everything's alright, nah, nah. Just the other day I saw a little boy all tough and fearless. He was holding flowers up like he wanted a babe all tearless. We're going backwards, acting teasing, dragging the line just like T-Rex. Everything is alright, nah, nah. Everything is alright, nah, nah. You better let me know. You look me in the eye if you want to. You better let me know. You look me in the eye. Come on, nah, nah. Never meant to foxy cha-cha. You might as well be dumb and cheesy.
So we're here today on Up to Your Ears. I'm Vanessa.
Hey, I'm Josie. We are going to have a special giveaway. I know Tammy from way back when. She was in Dressy Bessy. I used to live in Denver, and we had sort of a side project that lasted for about a month or so. And it was called Smirk. And it's myself and Tammy. And we did release a 7-inch on a compilation. Here you see it. There we go. On Stupid Records.
The traditional spelling.
Yes, and it is on green vinyl. So you know how much we love the colored vinyl. And we will be giving one of these away, sent to you. I don't know. How are we going to give this away, Vanessa?
Well, I think we'll have to have some sort of trivia question. We'll consult with Tammy behind the scenes. And then we will, towards the end of the video, have a question that we'll ask you, and you need to answer it in the comments. And what do we say? The first 3 people to get it right win a prize?
Absolutely. And, you know, we'll let you know, and then we can get their address from them and we'll send it to them for free. And yeah. And see, this is why we need that button where I push it, the crowd goes wild.
She's here!
Tammy. We're going to keep this one fun.
Oh, we're always
Can't wait.
fun.
Thank you guys so much for joining us all the way from Denver, Colorado.
Thank you.
Tammy and John from Dressy Bessy and John from Apples and Stereo. Are you guys still a band, still playing and things?
Apples?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't played since 2017, but yeah, one of these days we'll be back at it probably.
Before we hop into awesome. I was just going to say, before we hop into the interview, I came across this, and I think this might be you guys' first Dressy Bessy single. Tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's the second one, this one.
That's the first.
Yep, that's the first one.
Yep.
Hand colored.
I remember this because you guys had a coloring party. I don't know if you remember.
Yes. Yes.
And I was there for that.
Yes.
I was there.
You were one of the neatest participants.
Yeah. I think I was green. I'm not sure, but I can't remember.
Yes.
Oh, everybody had a color, right?
Oh, that's so awesome. That one looks great.
That one does look good.
Yeah.
Love this.
I remember Rob started coloring someone else. We were like, oh, you can just you don't have to do it. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're excused. I think there's snacks in the other room.
Yeah.
He's such a mess.
Funny. Yeah. Back then I was, yeah.
I was a substitute teacher for a while. That would be one of those ones where it's like, this is good enough, honey. Why don't you go find something else to do?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Good job.
Yeah. But awesome. The way these interviews go, they're not really, I mean, they're interviews, but we have this questionnaire that we like to ask all of our guests. And it is called, well, Vanessa has dubbed it Truth or Protect Your Rep. So we're just going to fly through some questions real quick, and then we're going to find what you guys have going on in the future. Sound good?
So you can totally lie your ass off if you want to. Make up whatever story you want, or you can tell us the truth. It's up to you.
Okay, cool.
All right. So the first question that we really like to ask everyone is, what was your favorite cartoon growing up?
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. I mean, there were others, but that held on strong. But
yeah, that was definitely.
But Scooby-Doo is definitely a not don't miss.
Yeah.
That's
and
funny.
What about it was so appealing?
I think it was probably the colors, and they were teenagers, and we couldn't wait to be teenagers, at least for me anyway. But
yeah, it's funny.
I don't know. And the ghosts, and they'd always I don't know.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah,
I just like the way it looked. Really, I like the colors. It was kind of psychedelic, and just kind of.
We interviewed this guy, Frenchie Smith, who I don't know if you guys know. He used to be in a band called 16 Deluxe, and he has a recording studio in town, Frenchie. His first thing was Scooby-Doo for sure. He's like, they had the best gear, like music gear. He like
I don't even remember them being in a band. Josie and the Pussycats, they were friends with them.
Right.
Of course. But
yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to go look that up.
Well, my first question for you guys, and this will be separate. This will be different I think it would be different for both of you. What was the first show that you remember going to on purpose?
On purpose?
Yes.
Let's see. I would have been 12 years old. Mm-hmm. And I was living on an army base in Germany, and there was a free concert, and it was Evelyn Champagne King. Love, come down. Ooh, you make my love come down. Make it come. So, and I was just like, wow, okay, she's cool.
Yeah, I love Evelyn.
So that was the very first concert I went to.
Sure. And it was at an army base in Germany.
It was on an army base in Germany. Yep.
That is amazing.
12. I think I was probably 11 or 12. I don't know. But I was just,
Oh, that's so cool.
It was cool.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the very first. I can think of a few things as a kid, but the first thing that comes to mind when I was 16, I actually drove my friends and my dad's old work van to see Genesis.
Yes.
I think that was probably the first show. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the first show, but it was the first show that I went, I drove myself to, and, it was kind of like we were all on our own, and pretty awesome though, because they were like, it was almost like seeing, I guess I'm kind of dating myself, but it would be like seeing Ealom back then, because they had a crazy light show, and it was pretty awesome concert.
And Phil playing drums, right? At that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I can imagine that would have been pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Totally.
Once you can date yourself.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
If you could be a wild animal of any kind, what would it be and why?
I am kind of a wild animal.
Yeah.
So, let's see, a wild animal.
Wild?
Yeah. She said wild. What do you mean wild animals? I guess a bear. Because they're up in the top of the food chain, they're cute. And dangerous, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, they're definitely dangerous. And I fear like we camp a lot, so it's like one of my biggest fears is like coming face to face with a bear. So if I was a bear, maybe I'd understand them better. She's a wild animal.
Say, no, I'm not an animal. We don't have any pets.
Oh my God.
If it wasn't a wild animal, I'd say a dog.
Yeah.
This dog has a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, for me, I'd say a hawk. I think maybe. Because I always, when I was a kid, I kind of thought it'd be cool to be a bird. Just because I wanted to fly. Only because I wanted to fly.
Aww.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to fly?
Hawks are like intimidating too.
Yeah. Well, hawks are
we get them.
Maneuverable.
Yeah, they nest. They roost or nest in our backyard in our tree, sort of in our neighborhood every spring. So we find like dead bird and squirrel parts all over our backyard because the hawk's teaching her babies how to hunt, and they drop them all the time. So he would be a hawk, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question for you guys. You are going on, say, just a hypothetical. You're going on tour, a new Dressy Bessy tour of the U.S., and you get to pick one food truck to follow you around on tour. And that's what you eat all tour long.
Taco truck. Definitely a taco truck. Yeah.
Tacos Sinaloa.
Yes, Tacos Sinaloa.
Is that
they're in Oakland.
They're based out of Oakland.
Yeah. Out of Oakland?
Yeah. Tacos Sinaloa. Oh, so good. Which is what? Seafood?
No, it's a region.
Oh.
A state. I think.
But they have the best shrimp tacos. They're so good. We go there like, we're staying in Oakland one night. We go there like 6 times.
We kind of stumbled on it. We stumbled on it on tour. Just I think maybe found it on Yelp. But now we go there every time we go through.
Well, if you're in Oakland.
All right. Since you guys are songwriters, I'm guessing that you are avid readers. What is a good book that you've read lately or written?
Gosh, I haven't read it, but we were just talking about it. We haven't read in ages. I'm a true crime reader. Anne Rule is one of my favorite authors. I mean, she's passed a couple years ago, I guess, but she's written so many amazing true crime books. I'm just going to leave it at that, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, we go through. I mean, I go through phases where I'll read like 10 books at a time, just one after another.
One after the next, and then like for me personally, I'll read like 12 books in a row, and then I won't read for like 2 or 3 years
or more.
I mean, seriously. But I was just talking about the other day. I just really don't have a place to like. It's not comfortable for me to read in bed, and
I'll fall asleep right after
the way our house is set up. I don't have a place that I have set up specifically for reading, so I end up not reading nearly as much lately. So to answer your question, not really. But I mean, if I took you upstairs, I have like 10,000 books. I mean, yes, we are readers and we do love books and literature and all that stuff, but we just haven't been doing it lately.
Maybe if you read 12 books at a time, it takes a couple of years to like absorb.
Oh, it is true. It is true.
Your information into play.
Right. And we keep busy with other things too. So,
Well, I got into this author, Walker Percy, some years ago now. And that was the last. God, that's been quite a few years now. But it was the last time I really went on a crazy reading binge. I read like all of his books, all 10 books and like whatever, a few months. Yeah.
So
I love how Daisy's upside down.
Yeah. She's like, this is wonderful.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you guys are all over the world, all over the country, all over the world. What is the strangest show you guys have ever played?
strangest. Oh,
yeah,
it's all strange. It's a strange life for sure. Go ahead.
I think probably the most memorable, and I don't know if it's exactly strange, but we got hired to play this snowboarding
That's the one
competition. It was actually here in Colorado, and so we show up. We didn't really know what it was gonna entail, but what they had us doing was we were playing a set in between like the two big events, or like the heats, I guess you'd call it. But they had us set up like, I mean, literally on the ski slope. Like we had to load our gear in
about like 2 feet of snow,
about 200 yards through
Girl, this
snow.
Is terrible.
Like there was no
it wasn't cleared.
It wasn't cleared, anything.
And the wind chill was 20 below.
Yeah.
What? And they had this tent on us.
Literally 20 below. Yeah.
Yeah. They had this tent over us. Okay. And so I'm up front, with my guitar, and I'm freezing. Like my lips, I had to be extra careful not to touch it because they would literally stick to the metal. My fingers were so frozen, I had to keep just a major chord formation and play up on the E string the whole show. That's the only thing I could do. It was a total. I just kind of channeled. I don't know. I channeled Johnny Rotten, and it's just like, fuck it, let's go. Like, I got to get through this.
I put my beer up by my mic stand. And in the 45-minute set, it was block solid. I mean, like completely rock solid, no liquid whatsoever.
But
it was that cold.
So dig. Like halfway through the set, I'm playing. I'm like I just had to blank out. It was just so.
I was having to talk her through it in between each song.
Insane.
Yeah.
But so I turned back and I look at our bass player and our drummer. Okay. I turned back and their hair's blowing black. They don't have their coats on. Their hair's blowing and they're just rocking out. They had provided these heating tubes. They were like these long sort of accordion type tubes. It was heat. And they had put them right in front of themselves.
Oh.
We didn't even know they were there.
All the heat was on the back of the stage.
Oh my God.
We didn't even know we were there. So then after that, I was just like, oh no, oh my gosh, It's like,
fired.
Yeah, I would say that was the worst. That was
when they were having a TV delay. It was like a major competition. They were having some kind of TV delay too, and so we came to the end of our scheduled 45-minute set, and the producer was over on the side like, we're having technical issues. We need 15 more minutes. And I mean, Tammy couldn't even speak. I mean, literally couldn't even
blue
speak.
lips. I was just like, and I had my coat. I had like little half gloves, a hat, everything. I was like totally bundled up, just like, oh boy.
So we were just like, nope, sorry.
Yeah,
we just cut it off. We just completely cut it off.
It was 20 below. Like, what?
Like the actual temperature was about 0 and 20 below with wind chill.
Yeah, that was insane.
No, it
was fun.
I think that you guys went through with it. There has to be a point. Well, I guess if you'd known that you had, it would have been a different story.
No, we've done it. I mean, it's just like, still every venue, you don't know what you're going to go through. We've gone through like sewage backups in clubs. We've gone through blackouts in clubs, I mean, a lot worse could happen, obviously, but we still do it. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, okay.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not a comfortable lifestyle anyway. So, it's just like, well,
right.
This is what it is, and at least we can tell stories about it. And I don't know.
Usually
and decide next time it happens, like check out this, like make sure I get a little heating tube, or
that's
they didn't make any provision to help us either, so
there was no stage help or anything like that. So
they had a stage and it was like a full sound setup, but they had no hand, stage hands or anything like that, which was crazy
used to
for
as well.
Like that.
But for that,
yeah.
They didn't even tell us that there was heat on the stage, but I guess Rob and Craig knew because they had it all. It's so funny. I was just like, oh my God, I just busted out laughing because they were literally like hair blowing back from heat. You know what I mean? No coat.
Sweating.
Right? Like, what is happening?
You're in the car, like writing your own contract that you're like, time. You're putting a clause in there that says that there has to be heat. Okay, let's file this under must have.
Oh my gosh. It was insane.
It's a really glamorous life.
Yeah, we love it though.
Imagining these outfits that Ro could draw, inclined stages with like piles of poo steaming, and, like, leaping
little flies everywhere.
Like, let me play a song.
Yeah. That one too. That one was like you get shocked on it. That was like I got shocked that night too. From the microphone. I was like, "What's happening?" Like,
all right, I brought these out specifically. I wasn't sure if John was going to be here, but Tammy, you're always wearing sunglasses. These are my favorite ones right now.
Oh, awesome!
Those are awesome.
What are
those are cool
glasses? Because I've noticed in your videos you have a lot of really
yes, those are awesome. What are my favorite glasses? But I do like a good cat eye.
Favorite pair that you have that you like always pick up to.
Oh, yeah.
Different all the time.
Yeah, my sunglasses. I'm a sucker for a classic cat eye, similar to the ones you just tried on. But yeah, I do like a good dark lens though. So you can't see me crying.
And for John, what is your favorite go-to clothing item?
Clothing?
Like, what do you live without? What do you put on all the time that's just like, that's your go-to? To feel awesome. Not like sweats or whatever, but like.
I was going to say long johns.
This is my quintessential like thing that I like to wear.
I was on a kick with, I had this kind of pleather jacket that I was wearing forever now. I haven't worn it for the last year, but I was on a kick with it. It's kind of like a motorcycle kind of jacket.
Like racing stripe.
With a racing stripe.
So cute.
It's pleather, but I kind of prefer it that way anyway. But so I was on a kick with that. But on the sunglasses kick, I was just talking about. Since we started ordering glasses, I switched over because I've been wearing Ray-Ban aviators for the last 15 years, I realized. I mean, literally 15 years, amazing, the same pair of sunglasses. I guess I changed the lenses once.
It's amazing they haven't lost them. Yeah, exactly.
No, I know. I mean, they've been sat on by me and by other people, and I've always been able to get them straightened out. But yeah, so those two things, I guess.
Okay, just a couple more questions for you guys. Dressy Bessy's going on tour. You get to bring 2 bands with you, living or 2 other bands with you to tour with you.
Okay.
They can be living or dead or past. Any bands. They can have been broken up or whatever. You get the idea. What does the ultimate Dressy Bessy tour look like?
That's really tough. Let's see. Who?
That's tough one because you think like
I'm trying to think past.
I'd love to play with this band, but then you think about, well, do I want them opening for me? Or I guess we could be opening for them, but they wouldn't want us to open for them because we blow them away.
Right. So let's see. That's tough. What? That's weird. What kind of question is that?
You guys are trying to stump us.
You guys are trying to make us look bad.
No.
I would say Blondie.
Yeah.
Ooh, my God, that would be so much fun.
Blondie is the headliner, and then maybe Pylon. Blondie, Pylon, and us.
That would be epic.
I would love that. That would be like a dream.
All right.
But we've played with the new Pylon.
Yeah.
That which is not exactly the same, but it has Vanessa, our very good friend.
Yeah.
And we're also good friends with Clember.
Yeah. So we could make it happen someday.
We might be able to make it happen. Yeah.
Seriously, let's make that happen.
Universe, get to work.
Oh my gosh, seriously. I mean, what do we have to lose, people?
Everything exclusive.
I know.
Oh, what's so crazy is that South by that I saw you at the Ginger Man. You guys played
Yeah.
that showcase.
Yeah.
I was sitting at the bar and I sat next to this guy and I was just taking a break, having a beer. And this guy sits down next to me and I was like, oh, cool ring. He was wearing this really cool ring. And he said, no, thanks. From France, starts talking, is Nigel from Blondie.
Oh.
And we ended up, like talking for like almost 2 hours. It was insane. And he was so cool and so down to earth. And I was like,
awesome.
Like make that, we need to make that happen. Dressy Bessy.
Yeah, for sure. They're all super cool and down
They're really
to earth.
cool, yeah.
Well, Vanessa, do you have
one last question?
Okay,
so I don't know if you guys do recording at home, but since you're locked in there for a year, I'm guessing you do some amount.
Yeah.
If you could add one dream piece of equipment, anything, dream piece of equipment to your recording space, what would it be?
Ooh, mixing board, I suppose.
I mean, we've thought about that, yeah.
Because we're recording digitally now, you know, we've always recorded from home, but
we kind of miss the mixing, the actual physical mixing.
Yeah. What else?
We're pretty well set. I mean, I've kind of had microphones on, several microphones on my want list but I don't know. Maybe it's unnecessary because we only use like 3 or 4 microphones anyway. Yeah. But that's not answering your question.
I don't want to. I would love to have like a nice home studio size, some kind of mixing board, like a little Mackie or something, like at least a 16 channel.
Yeah.
Just something.
Something that makes you
play with the buttons.
Yeah, so you can like you know, just because we mix ourselves here, but it's like, you know, digital mixing, so it's not quite.
It's not quite the same.
It doesn't have the same. You can't. You're not feeling it when you know.
I don't think it sounds the same. We used to do that where we mix. You know, of course, we started. It was all analog, and then we would also. I guess we would submix into the computer at a point, and then back out. Yeah. But at the end, you always just, even if it's on the computer, you run it back out to the mixing board and you get your gain staging done. Yeah. It just sounds so much better. It sounds so much better. Yeah. It has more, you feel the mix a little bit more, but someday we don't really have much room for one anyway. So like he said, we're pretty set for now. Yeah, we are pretty set, but we've got a long list of microphones though. we're pretty well set. I mean, we have like a dozen channels of vintage style EQ, preamps, and then about half dozen compressors, and
at least a dozen good mic.
Yeah, probably 6 or 8 nice dynamic mics, handful of condensers, a couple ribbons. But one trick with Dressy Bessy, one technical trick that a lot of people might be interested in is that we almost entirely use dynamic mics for almost everything. Everything except for drum overheads.
Mm-hmm. So, that's cool.
That's why it sounds so dynamic.
It makes
It's unusual though. It is unusual because most people use condenser mics for like guitars and vocals and number of things, but we never do. So
that's really cool.
I think that sounds good. I like all the detail stuff. I'm not a musician myself. I just love music.
Yeah. Awesome. Speaking of music, what do you guys have going on? I want to know, are you guys recording, working on new material? Do you have anything coming out? Are you doing any? I knew you guys were doing some live streams, and I saw your last one. It was super fun. Awesome. And I think that I think it might have been a Valentine's Day.
It was. The day before Valentine's Day.
And then I saw one before that, and I can't remember. It was probably, I don't know. It was the one where John was like, yeah, I don't remember that song. And he skipped it.
Yeah, I do. Okay, I remember not remembering that.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I don't remember anything from this past year. So
well, we early in the pandemic, we were doing it. Were we doing it once a week? I think
every Wednesday.
Yeah, we did it for quite a while.
Back up. Okay, so our last album, Fast Fashion Disaster, came out in June 2019. Okay, and so as you know, Josie, usually an album cycle lasts you 3 years.
At least 2.
At least 2 years, right, of touring around the country and yada yada. And so, you know, after it came out, we did the, you know, that 6 months of touring, and we had 2020 pretty much booked up, starting with South by Southwest, and you know,
we would have probably done about 70 or 80 shows in 2020.
And so it was just kind of like a screeching halt. And so for us, I wasn't ready to like stop yet. You know what I mean? Like so many other bands that had albums come out at that time. It's like, well, wait a minute, we still have to promote this album. We
had tours set up. So.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So we decided, it was my idea, like I was like, well, let's just play once a week, you know, also just to keep people's spirits up and to keep our spirits up too, and keep us singing, because it was weird and scary, and decided to play our entire catalog, you know, like 9 to 10 songs at a time. So it went on for 10 weeks. 10 weeks. And we didn't do the entire catalog. We didn't get through it all. And, you know, all this past year, I've been demoing. I have like 2 albums worth of new songs, you know, all recorded, drums, bass, guitars, keyboards, vocals, everything. It just needs, I need to get the band together, practice and record it and put an album out. You know,
but now people are going to be absolutely starved.
Right.
So, you know, I think we're going to come back to it this time, and I don't know. It's going to be really different.
It's really definitely going to be different, because there are a lot of clubs have gone away. There's going to be less places to play, but there are probably going to be more bands and more artists, you know, so we're just waiting to see what happens.
There's definitely going to be less clubs. And I don't know, that's the one thing that I've been thinking about so much lately is just, I don't know. You know, we've been doing this long enough that we've seen the music industry morph into a couple different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we came back in 2016 to do our King Size record, we hadn't done a record in 8 years, yeah. So between, say, 2008, when we, you know, did our previous record, you know, everything had changed. I mean,
MySpace was gone. That was the MySpace days.
It's just like a whole different approach to doing everything, basically, as well as many of the talent buyers at clubs had changed. Clubs had changed. There were, you know, maybe, you know, 2 or 3 times as many clubs to choose from. But you got to get a hold of those people. And, you know, we had booking agents and stuff. But anyway, the point being is we had really just right before the pandemic started to feel kind of comfortable with how things work now.
Right.
You know? And then, bam, it's all going to change again. And I mean, I do think it's you know, it's fundamentally changed this time. I mean, it's the last time as we morphed into this new social media age, it was just kind of trickling into it. But now it's going to be a fundamental change, I think, to the way everything works. Who knows how? I just don't know how it's going to work yet. I don't think anybody does. But
let me know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right.
Like, so this is what the deal is. This is how it's going to go down. Which obviously that's not going to happen, but it's going to be different. That's
well, I'm hoping that some new clubs open up, maybe some that have their sewer lines like all working.
Yeah, right.
Precisely.
Well, you know, the one big problem is there were too many clubs. There were too many clubs. And the last thing I want is for anybody to go out of business or lose their livelihood or anything like that. But
when you go into a city and 2 of your friends' bands are playing at the same city, same time.
Yeah, and I mean,
night.
We're not even talking about New York. You know, you go into Columbus, Ohio, and who else? I mean, we've played in cities where we had 6 competing shows.
And they're our friends. And we'd have all played together, or you know, like.
But that, you know, that's the fault of too many clubs and promoters that don't work together. You know.
Yeah.
Because promoters should have the mindset that's just like, well, you know, how about if we put our shows together, you know, to make it work?
Right,
you know?
right.
So
because everybody's losing, you know.
So it might be beneficial that some of these clubs have gone out of business, and you know, I hate to say that, but it might.
Yeah. Right. Awesome.
Well, it's taught us all to use all this technology that we already had. You know, nobody knew how to do this crap before. You know, but it's all like stuff that everybody needs to know how to do, you know?
Yeah. And lucky that we're able to do that. Like lucky that we're able to see you and talk to you guys and find out how you guys have been and what's happening. And that's kind of another reason why we started this this show, is just to kind of keep in touch with people. And like, this band hasn't gone anywhere. They're still making music. They're still doing stuff. Just because they're at home and haven't been playing shows doesn't mean they're not creating.
Hopefully it inspires people if they see it on Instagram, which is why we try to, you know, tweet and do Instagram and stuff. It's like, if they see a little snippet, that they will go down the rabbit hole on the internet of like, oh yeah. And then they Google John Hill, and then they Google the Tammy Shine. They start following on Instagram or whatever. And then they can be in the know and realize like, okay, the whole world didn't shut down. I mean, it did, but people didn't shut down. They still had to keep going and doing something. And if they're creative and awesome, then they continue to be so.
But the cover of the last record is so good. I know you probably did that
Thank
also.
you.
I love
Thank
it
you.
so much. It's my favorite so far.
Thank you. Wow. It's funny because I didn't want to use my image on the cover. I wanted to use more of there's a painter from Kansas City. He goes by Billy Blob. He donated some, I'm a huge fan of his. He's on Instagram, but he donated art, paintings to use for the cover art. And I incorporated them in the cover, and so the photograph was going to go on the inside, but everybody's like, oh no. So that wasn't my first choice. Huh?
There's one right next to us here.
Here's a blob.
Up top.
The skull.
Oh yeah.
That's actually that's incorporated on the cover within my torso and on the inside. Yeah.
Well, we've had you on for a lot longer than anticipated, and thank you so much for taking your time out to talk with us. And I'm so glad.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun. It's nice just to like talk and connect.
I know, to sit and actually talk to people.
Yeah. And it's so good to see sweet little Daisy is just like the perfect doggy. She hasn't.
She really is.
I'm like the star of the show, pretty much.
Yeah, she's like, yay.
Before we go, I have to say, when we interviewed those, the gals from Potty Mouth, they're like, we love you and John, la, 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 la. They loved you so much. And
we love them too. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We had so much fun with them.
Oh.
Or in 2019 with Potty Mouth.
Yeah, let's throw them in. Let's do a 4-band. Let's do Blondie, Pylon, Dressy Bessy, Potty Mouth.
We really did have fun with them.
They're great.
Yeah, they're awesome.
We loved interviewing them, and they were like,
oh my God.
It was really
cool. Blah, 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 blah. Feelings mutual. We had a blast, for sure. Fun. We had planned to do more too. So
that's awesome. We were trying to bring them down. Well, actually, you were working on that one, Josie, where we were trying to bring them down to Texas.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Love you. This is so fun.
Thanks so much.
Thank you guys.
This is so fun.
Thank you.
Love you guys so much.
We hold a special place in the thread.
Duo, and they're just both so sweet. And I haven't seen Tammy in like years, and it's just it's funny. She's like one of those people when you see like one of those friends that you see that when you see them it's like no time has passed, you know, kind of like you, like you know, we went years without seeing each other, but when you see each other it's like okay, you just kind of fall into Well, I'm excited to hear their new songs that they've been working on.
This is not the end.
I'm also excited for everyone to hear Faster.
Disaster. I've been listening to it on repeat. It's good.
Faster Disaster. Yes. And that album cover is so awesome. I love it.
I've been listening to lots of their music. I really like Electrified. That is like on repeat. That is such an awesome song. I love it.
So good.
Yes.
Well, and for all of you out there who are interested, we would like to give away this single that includes Tammy, Shine, and yours truly from the olden days. What do you think? Should we?
Gonna be? What do we need to ask these people?
I think we should just be like, ask them something from the interview. Like,
we can just go back and review it.
Well, that's okay if they do that.
Well, then first 3 people to respond, and we'll know for sure because time and date stamp on the comments, people.
I think we should ask, what is Tammy's favorite food truck?
Yes, that's a good question.
Or either that or her favorite cartoon.
Favorite cartoon's too easy because there's so many musicians who love the Scooby-Doo. I think the taco truck question is awesome. What is the name of Tammy and John's favorite taco truck in Oakland, California? First 3 comments to respond wins an awesome 7-inch, including Smirk.
All right, cool. Well, thank you everyone for turning into Up to Your Ears.
Thanks for turning the dial over to YouTube to Up to Your Ears.
Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Spending some time with us.
Yes.
I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Josie.
And what does it sound, Josie?
It sounds fucking good. No, it sounds good. It sounds great. Join us next time. And please don't forget to subscribe. Please. And we would, greatly appreciate it. It just makes it easier for you to find other videos we have out there with your favorite artists.
Yes. And seriously, like every week, it's someone equally fantastic. So, I mean, you're always going to be a winner if you tune in.
Absolutely. Just subscribe and be cool about it.
Yeah, you'll be glad you did.
You will be. I mean, come on. Our guests are awesome.
They are.
Who books the show? We need to give them a raise.
This show.
Those 2 girls who booked this show are so awesome. They need a raise.
I like them too.
Yeah, me too.
I met them one time. I didn't even ask them to tie my shoes.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
Everything's all right now. Every time I sit at the top, start looking around like I'm not sure what. At the top of the world, you get true, even though you got nothing to do. Cheating classic, got to get it, go. Anything you got, a tuxedo. Everything all right now.